Because a whole lot of folk come to church on Sunday in the crowd, but not everyone leaves here free, liberated, delivered, and empowered. I want to ask you a question. Do you just come to be in the crowd, or is there anybody here who wants to stand with this woman and say, after all the hell I've been through and I'm still here, the least I can do is touch him and be transformed in the process? And so watch this. I love it. That reminds me of something that happened to someone I know. They shared with me that they were in a relationship that broke down, and as a consequence decided to go with her girls on a trip, and they rented an Airbnb, and they get to the Airbnb and a storm hits the very next day, and the storm knocked out the power. And so they called, here it is, the owner who was renting the Airbnb, and the owner said this. I love it. She testified. She said, the owner said, don't worry, I'll lead you to where the breaker box is. She said, but it's dark, I can't see. She said, don't worry, I know my house. It's my house. All you got to do is follow my directions, and I will walk you to the breaker box. And so she said, here's what you do. She said, right now you are at such and such. Now make a right turn, walk 2 steps, and then you'll be at the staircase, and then take your time going up the stairs because it's circular. And once you reach the top, you're going to turn left. Now, are you at the top? She said, yes. Now, turn left. And so she turned left. She said, now, walk 5 steps and put your hand out. That's where the door is. Now, open up the door because that is the door to where the breaker box is. And she followed the orders that were coming from the owner of the house. She said, now, here's what you do. Once you get in the room, take 8 steps. And once you take that 8th step, that's when you turn and make 2 steps. And when you make that 2nd step, that's when you've got to get on your knees because the breaker box is located close to the floor. Now that you are on your knees, open up the box. Do you feel it? Yes, I do. She opened up the box. She said, now here's where you know how to flip it, don't you? And she flipped it. And the next thing you know, the lights came on. Why did the lights come on? Because even in the dark, she followed the word of the owner of the house, and the owner of the house was able to direct her to the source of power. Come here, because some of y'all came to church in the dark, and this woman in the text lets us know if you follow the words of our Savior will ensure you get to the source of power, because it is your faith that activates the power and releases God's power in your life. You ain't got to live powerless. You don't have to live in a cycle. You can break the cycle and live empowered. So how does it work? I'm almost done. The text lets us know it works like this. It works, first of all, when you refuse to accept that what is and has been is going to always be. Preach, Freddie Haynes. I'm about to do that thing. This woman for 12 years has had nothing but disappointment, nothing but failure, nothing but abuse, but she refuses to accept that things that have been are going to continue to be. Y'all still didn't get that. And she dares to engage in civil disobedience. Biblical scholars let me know that there were certain interactions that men and women could not have in public, let alone in private in their own home, because women were second-class citizens. I'm not done. She's just not a second-class citizen, but she's a woman whose body has been governed by men. And so as a consequence, a law has been laid out that segregates her because of her condition. And here, my sisters and brothers, is where we have to be very prayerful, careful, and active in standing with our sisters, because we live in such a hypocritical nation that you have men who have the nerve to engage in reproductive injustice, in that they feel they can govern and mandate how your bodies as women are handled, and they mandate and they govern your body. Y'all still not feeling me. I know we like to think they call themselves pro-life. No, they are pro-life when it's convenient, because they're only pro-life before you get here. But once you get here, they ain't got nothing to do with your life but try to tear down your life. And I'm here to say, black men, let's stand with black women and ensure that they live every day with reproductive justice. Okay, I know you're not liking me now, but I love how she refuses to accept that what is and has been is going to always be. And this is where bell hooks is so helpful, because she has spent all this time trying to take care of herself. And bell hooks, black women, hear me well right now. Bell hooks says that self-care for black women is an act of resistance. When black women who take care of everybody else decide to take care of themselves and engage in self-care, it makes the whole home healthy. It makes the whole community healthy. And so black women, I think we need some black men who will go ahead and say, baby, you've done a great job taking care of me, but now it's time for you to spend some time taking care of yourself. I'm going to do my best to learn the lessons you've taught me while you go ahead and do that which is going to help you be the best you, because we ain't having a revolution if you don't take care of yourself. So she refuses to accept that what has been and what is going to always be. Oh, please hear me well. Just because it's been that way don't mean it has to stay that way. Just because the cycle has you caught up, it doesn't mean it has to stay that way. Please make up your mind today that what has been, what is, ain't gonna always be, and I refuse to accept it even if I have to engage in civil disobedience. Because what she does kills me. She literally goes outside. She has been sentenced to living inside. That's the law. But she disobeys what is legal in order to experience liberation. She disobeys what is legal in order to connect with the love that set her free. Man, I wish I was coming through. Refuse to accept that. Not only does she refuse, the text lets us know sometimes you got to be resilient. Because the text says, check her resilience out. 12 years of disappointment, but she kept on trying. 12 years of coming back after a setback, but she kept on trying. 12 years, and I'm convinced it had everything to do with her thought process, because the text says she thought to herself once she heard about Jesus, not just Jesus, but the Greek has an article in front of Jesus. Once she heard about the Jesus. Why the Jesus? Because that was a popular name in biblical antiquity.
Hey, I like that, the Jesus. I'm gonna name that.